Hey everyone, Joe here. Today is big stone impact testing round 3. No more hard-boiled eggs. Today we're using bone. I got these from a craft store. They're the bones from the lower limb of a deer. They were intended to make a knife handle or something like that, but today we're going to throw stones at them with a sling. Let's take a look at the target. Okay, this setup should look familiar. I've got the same as with the eggs. I've got 1/2-inch plywood, 15 layers of linen fabric covered up with a piece of leather. Just like the hard-boiled eggs, I'm going to attach the bone to it, hit the other side with a stone, and see if I can crack or break it. One thing I am curious about is if I can break the bone with little or no damage to the wood. Because I'm curious if it takes the wood breaking into the bone in order to crack it, or if just an impact force transferring through the padding can actually crack the bone. We're going to find out. Okay, 2 more things about these bones and then we'll get started. One is, I think I may have mentioned this, because they're meant for craft use, they're dried out. I don't know if that's going to make them more brittle and easier to break than if it was living bone. Second thing, both of them, I'll see if the camera picks this up. If it doesn't, I will take a picture and put it up on the screen instead. This does have a little crack down through the center of it. Just rotating to see if that can get picked up. And both of them have it. This one is the worst of the two, so I'm going to put it on the target first. But we do have to keep that in mind if or when these bones break, that they did start with a fracture down the center of them. Let's go. Okay guys, here's the front of our target. I did paint around an impact zone, which is what I'm trying to hit. And on the back, here's the attached bone. Just put it on with pieces of leather and screws, but it's on here pretty solid. It's not moving anywhere. I hope the way it's attached here does hold up through this testing till the bone breaks, but we'll see. See the hit there in the corner. Look at the damage this did on the back. There is zero question in my mind that that would break the bone if that hit it. Right now it's still fine. So at this point, that hit probably would have broken the eggs. The bone's still okay though. But let me see if I can find a lighter weight stone. This also, that hit is showing damage on the back of that board. It's not a big punched in area like the first one was, but just I can see the little crack where it split the wood. So I'm going to hang on to this one, but I'm going to see if I can get one that's even a little bit lighter. That wasn't in the good impact zone, but it was close. The bone's still on there tight and unbroken. This one is 205 grams. Because this one's thin, when that edge is hitting that board, it is absolutely causing damage on the back. The bone's holding up. That hit, I did hit within the padding area because I can feel the padding and where the board is broken out behind it. But the bone is still in place solid and it's still intact. I'm going to try to get one more good hit with this stone. I think this was 205 grams, but it'll be on the screen. Here, I'll show you guys this one. And that is this big hit right in the circle here. It is not on target of the bone. But you can see it right here. So you can see the damage that this little stone is causing. But the bone still, it can move around on that one side now. I might grab the drill and redo these to tighten it up. But from what I can see, there is no damage to it. Just as a note on what has been seen so far, the bone obviously way stronger than the eggs. They basically broke as soon as there was any hit on the board, even if it was several feet away. The bone's holding up with hits right close to it. So I'm kind of thinking that if the board itself does not crack, I don't think the bone's going to break either. I think I need a direct hit right on top of it. And even then, I'm curious if it will in fact break or not. So I will continue with this. Cheers for now. Hey guys, Joe here. We're on a new day. We're going to jump right back into it, see if I can break that bone. There's just going to be 2 adjustments. I switched over to a shorter sling. I liked the velocity I was getting with the 45-inch sling, but it was just too hard to get a precise hit. And second one, I changed the position of the bone because of where I hit it, that target, and caused a break in the wood. But we'll go and I'll show you that. Previously, the bone was right in the center of that circle, but you can see the new position down more toward the bottom where I marked it with a rectangle. I had to move it because of that damaged spot, because it pushed it in the back and so it wasn't holding it tight. But we'll go around and I'll show that to you. So here it is, we've got the bone strapped on and it's real nice and tight again. But up here is where that damage was, and just with that pushed in, it was actually right where one of the screws were. And so that just wasn't holding it tight anymore because it was pushed in. All right, we're gonna start with this one. I don't remember if I was throwing this the other day or not. This is 172 grams, and sling is about 34 inches. Bone's okay, but I'll show that position real quick. I wish I wouldn't have had to move the bone, because that would have pretty much hit perfect. Here's the impact right here. And before, right here's where the bone was. That would have been close to perfect. But like I said, the bone's still good. We're about probably 2 to 3 inches above. That was basically right in the exact same spot as that one I showed you. So that's a little bit deeper. It is pushing out on the back a little bit, but the bone's still solid. We'll go with that one. That was one of the spots that was already damaged, but stone went right through it. And it was about 5 to 6 yards in the grass behind the target. So I got to make sure I don't hit that spot anymore. That was another one. If I wouldn't have had to move the bone down lower, that would have been a perfect hit right there. Perfect hit. Let's go take a look at that. All right, guys. It was a little tiny bit high, but you can see the dirt that it left. This was the main impact right there. That's where it has the little ding in the wood. And around the back here, at first glance, everything looks pretty normal, but check this out. Okay guys, I did a measurement on the front so I could see where it was on the back where that impact was. And it was right about here. So more or less center on the bone. So what I know from that is that the break spot is not where the stone actually hit. The bone would have been on there pretty much like that. So right about there in the, sorry, I want to talk toward the mic, but also I can't point. But right about there would have been the hit, and the break was there. Let's see if there's any damage on the back here where that broke. There's the linen padding. Very little damage. If my measurement and pointing out was correct, see here's the, or it was these, there's the screw holes right here. Or it was those ones up there, whatever. But here's center, so it's just this little bit of cracking is what that stone hit did. I'll try to get another angle there. So that's another interesting point, that there's no real, it obviously doesn't look like this. Just that little damage there. Broken bone. Okay guys, just quick recap. Stone, 172 grams. The sling was about 34 inches long. Distance was about 10 meters. I'll put the speed, I'll do a frame count and get a speed calculation as near as I can. And that got a bone break. So it's time to go from 1/2 inch plywood up to 3/4 and see if that does any better. Cheers.